I'm going to demonstrate a fun little DZR Jujitsu flow that I came up with. Now, how applicable it is for a street fight or something, but it'll be good for freestyle contests, practicing sensitivity, and all the techniques individually are effective. So let's start with the first technique, katate azushi ichi. This is the basic escape from an outside wrist grab. We're here, palm down. I'm going to lever out by putting my elbow to his forearm while I step offline. About as basic as it gets. Originally it started with samurai. He would grab, and I didn't like that. I wanted to grab my sword, so I'd pop out, grab my sword, cut him to finish the job, right? So technique one. Now normally you use this just to escape and go about your business, self-defense wise, but I like to do this technique and pass the hand as I do it. So that way it sets me up for other things down the road. Now one thing that's good I can do from here is I've got this open, I can slide on the inside of his arm and pop him at the liver, right? Now it doesn't take much, just a nice jarring shot. You can cause some pain with this. If people aren't used to getting hit, this is going to be a problem, but I think of it mainly as a distraction, right? So we're here, hit. While he's thinking there, I'm going to roll my arm over the top for what we call an Ulna Press takedown. There's a Japanese name for it I'm not going to get into right now. The full technique looks something like this. He gives me a punch down to the ground, right? Now you can do things with this. You can do it from the position that I'm at. You can do it from the grip like I showed. When you do this technique, it's important to be kind of soft with it. This is where the Ju from Jiu-Jitsu comes in. I've got a couple things going on. I've got a grip of his wrist. So this hand is going to control his bones, and I'm going to turn his forearm to get it started. My other hand rolls behind his elbow until his elbow is facing the ceiling. And then from there, I'm keeping pressure on the back of the elbow down as this lifts up, sort of like an arm bar to motivate him down. Now if I want to drop him to the floor, I take a back step and sort of toilet bowl. If I try to do this technique and he's trying to fight me with a strong arm, it's a little difficult. So one thing you can do is get underneath it and push his elbow towards his ear and extend him back down, get his posture broken like so. Regardless, we're flowing, right? He grabs, I escape, pop, roll. Now, if he's strong or aware that this is going to happen, he might posture up on me, and now I've got a problem, right? So what I'm going to do is take advantage of this moment by keeping my hand where it is, feeding this over the top into a figure four, and from here I can pivot my feet and do what's called Takushigarami. It's sort of a shoulder takedown, almost like a standing Americana, which on its own looks like this. Right? And I like how all these flow together because you resist one and it goes into the other. Now, if I do the Takushigarami, what I need to do is get his arm beside him and torquing, so that way it bends him back, compromises his posture, he goes down. One way he can prevent this is by turning his body to face his arm, and he keeps it in front. It's a little harder to get that shoulder tweak, especially if he gets his other hand involved. Now we're fighting, and it's going to be more difficult to make it happen. You can still do it, but at this point, I'm going to abandon that idea. I'm going to step forward. Elbow is going to go into his armpit. I'm going to back step and drop. Almost like a Morote Sewinagi in judo, and he's going to go over my hip. From here, he's already in place. I'm going to trap him with my shins. Got my hand just on his wrist, shins down, and I'm going to try to pick him up by this folded hand to apply the wrist lock. From here, you can also open for arm bars and all that fun stuff. So from the get-go, I escape and pop. I roll him over, he resists. Try to torque his shoulder, he resists. I throw him and finish him off.